Okay, I'm Munyaradzi Febion, Kufahakutizwi, born 15 May 1979 in the province of Manicaland. So I then enrolled into Harare and became a councillor in 2008. I've served this Ward 19, which is now Ward 21, for 3 consecutive terms. So technically I did serve for 15 years. But the 2 years was then affected by the most popular recalls, which everyone is aware. Yeah? So technically I did stay for 12 years, because the 2 years then was then affected by the recalls.
For the 15 years.
So technically I'm also an alderman. That then implies that I'm an alderman.
For the 15 years that you served as a councillor minus the 2, what are some of the tangible things that you have done for the ward? You did for the ward?
Plenty plus, because you still remember in 2008 around then, because what happened when ZANU-PF government inherited this community, you know, there was a water network and sewer network, but under normal circumstances, I think even you can tell from the plumbing aspect, the engineers can tell you that we need to have a replacement policy, because the pipes, any other equipment have got a lifespan. So same applies to the pipes and the water network, sewer network, they've got a lifespan. But ZANU-PF being ZANU-PF, you know, they always use the money for getting to repair and maintain. Where there's what we call repair and maintenance. So that replacement policy was not being implemented. So when you came into power, those old pipes, they were very old. So we then also resolved to replace the sewer lines, especially along Wanyane, Chirua, and so many other lines, so that we then replaced them, because we are experiencing a number of burst pipe. One, also the sewer lines were a bit smaller. We upgraded them to standard, which were a bit bigger. We also enrolled into the main water line, you know, from Litombo Reservoir to Donbrook Reservoir. We then replaced that pipe. It was a huge project which we did. As you are aware, that we experienced a number of bursts, and we lost treated water to that matter. So we then saw it fit that we save pure treated water, so we replaced that pipe. That was another major achievement which we did. Also with the demand, you know, the periphery, we are being surrounded by sprouting other areas, Caledonia, Goromons. So in that regard, we then pushed that Mabvuku polyclinic was being overwhelmed, because a number of people were being treated there. We are having their service there. So I then pushed it tirelessly so that we upgraded it to a state-of-the-art clinic. You can also attest to it when you pass through. You can even see the equipment and machines which are there. It was through our effort that we pushed, because some other constituents like Glenview, hopefully, Budiro, they also need the same project and funding. But I then managed to convince the Director of Health after raising a number of issues and concerns. So that was another project which he did of huge magnitude, impact, magnitude. Currently, you can also attest and see that we've made a lot of noise in terms of the road construction, because Zinara currently was supposed to reimburse or fund local authority after it have collected road taxes and vehicle licenses. But Zinara is not doing enough, so we pushed for the disbursement, and after the disbursement, we were then allocated some funds as City of Harare and through the Ministry of Finance. So City of Harare as the local authority, we were then mandated to provide 3 roads, that is Donbrook Drive, Senene Drive, and Mabvuku Drive. So those are 3 major roads which have been then being claimed by some other politicians who were claiming some political space, that they now claim that they are the ones who have constructed those roads. But technically, if you check around, there are 2 billboards which are there, which are prescribed, and also those gantry signs, they are clear in terms of the message that the road is being fully funded by Ministry of Transport and Zinara. So It was after a push by us, by our council and the mayor of Harare.
And my brother, how do you feel now that you are the incoming member of parliament for Mabvuku, and how do you manage to emerge victorious over the famous escort Sakupwanya?
He's famous in some other circles, but he's very unpopular in this area because currently, as we are aware, he have got his own shortcomings. Currently, you understand the popular gold mafia issues. He's one of the guys who are in those. He's part of the gold mafia. Because currently, you are aware of. He also hired Mayweathered, but the people in Mabvuku felt that they benefit nothing. But the deal which was behind the Mayweather was just a transporter, because you can just imagine paying someone $1 million US for just punching few punch on the punch bag, boxing punch bag. So the deal was that he was transporting their gold. So people would basically know that those guys, they are plundering national resources on their behalf. And when they did those corruption in terms of plundering national resources, exploiting national resources, smuggling gold, and so forth. So they want them to sanitize that money in terms of coming up here, bring with those silly programs like Mayweather is coming to Zimbabwe for what? People in Mabvuku felt that we didn't benefit anything. So basically, to me, he's like nobody. He's just any other candidate. He's a ZANU-PF, and basically people in Mabvuku, not Mabvuku is alone, but in Zimbabwe generally, we are fed up with the ZANU-PF system. People need change. People need new government. So it's it's now the gold mafia against the citizen mafia. I think that's the main challenge which it was the race between the gold mafia and the citizen mafia.
And my brother, when you go into parliament in a few coming weeks, what are some of the major policy agendas that you're going to push coming from Mabvuku?
My brother, I think we are aware of this patriotic bill. It's suppressing our right, left, right, and center. Basically, we need to repeal that. It needs to be repealed in total. We need to repeal that patriotic bill because it's suppressing us in terms of movement and everything. Also, when I get into power, like when I go into parliament, I will need basically to push, because to push the issue of construction of major dams, Kunje, Musami, and Muda dams, because we will be the major beneficiary, especially the suburbs from the east, Caledonia, Goromonzi, Rua, Zimre, going to airport, to airport, even Masasa. Because currently, as we speak, the Morton Jeffrey plant, treatment water plant, was constructed many years ago, and its capacity and its production capacity is far way less than the population which has emerged. You are aware of the cooperatives which have just spruced up number of construction, number of housing units in and around places like Budiriro, Glenora. So the demand for water also then suppress us as we are at the deep end. So we believe we need another new water source, which has been on the ZANU-PF trump card since 1980. Because we don't want a situation when we go for election, people will then try to push and make a lot of noise about certain project, yet they will never come to fruition. So this time around, I will be making a lot of noise in terms of, so that I can take government to task. We build a new water bodies. So then that will then relieve and also assist Mabvuku in the eastern region, so that we have smart, clean, potable water, rather than this issue of driving us back to the rural area when someone is breaking around drilling boreholes in these communities. We don't want bore water. We need a tap water.
Lastly, my brother, what's your message to the people of Mabvuku that have entrusted you to lead them?
People of Mabvuku, I would then say to them, I will not disappear from the face of Mabvuku. I'm a local content person. I will stay in Mabvuku. I will remain a resident in Tafara. Any other problem which they face, I will be facing the same challenges and problems. So that's my promise, that whenever they want to come, they don't have to hire a taxi, to jump into a comp. It's just a walking distance between me and my residents. I'll be fully representing their interests. Also, I'm a conduit between them and the Parliament of Zimbabwe, so that their issues, I will not represent in Parliament issues which I thought by myself. I will then do consultative meeting, so that when I carry forward issues, people who have contributed during our meetings, so then I will carry forward some other issues. Then take them forward. The other issue I think definitely we need to deal with issue of drug and substance abuse. That's very major. That's very pertinent because currently, as you can see, most of our youth are now into drug and substance abuse.